Today we're announcing that in the autumn we'll be launching a consultation on reforming the Gender Recognition Act. And at the moment, if you want to change your gender, it's a very complicated process. It's quite intrusive as well, and it's very bound up in going to see your GP and a whole medical process that then gets kicked off. What we want to do is try and streamline the process, make it easier, demedicalise it and make it less intrusive, and we'll be consulting on how to do that in the autumn. And I think 50 years after we began the decriminalisation of homosexuality, although we've had huge progress on LGBT rights, there are still areas like this where we think we can do more, and we want to take those steps.
Some people may have a concern listening to this about the idea of making it easier, making it quicker to change your gender. I mean, for most people this would be the biggest decision you make in your life, so isn't it right that these things take a bit of time?
I think it's about helping it to take place more effectively. And we know in other countries, for example, the Republic of Ireland or Malta, they have a very different approach on this. It's much more about a legal change of your identity that's then followed by the medical process that people go through.
So would you like to see then the UK having the same system as the Republic of Ireland or Malta, where people can effectively self-identify their gender?
I think it's one of the things that we need to be looking at, but the bottom line is at the moment we have a very complex, lengthy process. It is time to streamline that, make it more straightforward, to demedicalise it, and to stop treating people changing their gender as if it's some medical problem that they need fixing. Actually, this is a choice that people are making, and we need to try and make that choice more straightforward in a way than it currently is.
Is there a wider issue as well about the way that we look at gender stereotypes in our society? If we were a bit more open-minded about what it means to be a man or a woman, perhaps that should be the focus rather than looking at the gender that someone identifies as?
I think probably society's never focused less on people's gender. I think we've seen huge steps forward, and I've fought for women's rights for many years. This week we've seen, of course, the gender pay gap reporting from the BBC, which has caused a huge debate, quite rightly, about closing that gap. That's precisely why we brought through those requirements for big organisations to start reporting. But I do think what you're seeing is gender equality steadily percolating through the workplace, through our society. It's great that after this election we've never had more female MPs, but when you look at that and diversity more generally, it's something we still need to keep pushing for. And on LGBT rights we've made a lot of steps forward over the last 50 years. Of course, same-sex marriage going through Parliament was a massive watershed moment for our country, but there's still a long way to go.